Photovoltaic power generation, as a clean energy that has attracted worldwide attention, plays an important role in the wave of global energy transformation. However, the limited land area of the world, 1/4 of which is a desert area, has brought great challenges to human energy supply. In order to overcome this problem, scientists began to think about building photovoltaic power plants in desert areas to provide clean energy. Although some countries in the United States and Europe have tried this initiative, they have unfortunately failed in the end. Shockingly, however, Beijing, China has announced a high-profile plan for 2022. They will invest $870 million to build a huge photovoltaic power generation base in the desert, in the next 3 years. The total installed capacity of the base will reach 450 million kilowatts, which is equivalent to the total capacity of 23 gorges dams. However, for the technology mastered by human beings, there are many difficulties in challenging the construction of power stations in the desert. So will China be able to successfully complete this grand project? Thank you for watching the video. Why not subscribe to 𝗙antastic? Let's discover more exciting projects in the world together. Many people think that the desert is synonymous with death, because there is no grass and no value that can be used. However, scientists consider the desert to be an undiscovered treasure trove. This is because desert areas have the potential to develop new energy sources. For example, building photovoltaic power plants in deserts has become a direction for human beings to seek new energy sources. Taking China as an example, in the desert area of Inner Mongolia, the sunshine time is as high as 2,800 hours a year, while the global average sunshine time is only about 1,800 hours. This shows that the construction of photovoltaic power plants in desert areas is very promising. However, despite the abundance of light in desert regions, the technology and cost of building and maintaining photovoltaic plants remains a challenge. Take Europe's 𝗕ះplan as an example, which aims to build a super-large photovoltaic power station in the Sahara Desert to provide power for the whole of Europe. This plan is known as the most ambitious green energy plan in the world. Although the plan itself had no technical problems, it encountered many difficulties during its implementation. First, the economic crisis and political problems in Europe affected the sources of funding for the 𝗕ះprogram. Secondly, the political interests and geopolitical issues involving multiple countries make the construction of transmission lines face many challenges. Finally, the environmental conditions in desert areas are extremely harsh, and the construction and operation costs are also high. Therefore, the plan was declared a failure 5 years later. The United States has also proposed a plan for photovoltaic power generation in deserts. Once President Obama launched an energy plan called Power Africa Plan, which aims to build energy facilities for African countries in southern Sahara, of which photovoltaic power generation is one of the main projects. The plan aims to solve the energy shortage problem in African countries and improve the local quality of life and economic development. The United States plans to invest $7 billion over 5 years to achieve this goal. However, the United States discovered during the implementation process that the power infrastructure in African countries is relatively backward, and a large amount of investment and resources are required to realize the construction of photovoltaic projects. In addition, the unstable political environment in Africa, and the lack of effective supervision and guarantee mechanisms have brought great risks to the construction and operation of photovoltaic projects. In addition, corruption in African countries has also affected the implementation of photovoltaic projects. For these reasons, the Power Africa project of the United States has suffered a failure and has not yet achieved any substantive results. Through the examples of the United States and Europe, we can find that the construction of photovoltaic power plants in the desert is a challenging task and many difficulties need to be overcome. However, China's Beijing announced another attack on the desert in 2022, planning to build a photovoltaic power generation base with a total installed capacity of 450 million kilowatts in the northwest desert area, which is equivalent to the power generation capacity of about 23 𝗕hes dams. So how difficult is it to complete the project? We all know that great projects cannot be completed in a short time, just like Rome was not built in a day. However, when we talk about China's construction of photovoltaic power plant projects in the 𝗘̃bukhi Desert, we can't help but be overwhelmed by this huge and ambitious plan. To ensure its smooth completion, China has decided to adopt a three-phase construction approach to the project to ensure that its potential can be maximized. In the first phase of the plan, China plans to invest $170 million for the implementation of preliminary planning and preparation work. It includes site selection, land development, and infrastructure construction. The careful arrangement of these preliminary works has laid a solid foundation for the subsequent construction. China then poured in additional funds, bringing the total investment to $250 million. At this stage, the Chinese project team will concentrate on the construction and equipment installation of photovoltaic power plants. A large number of solar panels and inverters will be installed on the vast land in the northwest desert to provide a reliable foundation for subsequent power generation. The success of this stage will ensure the sustainable operation of the photovoltaic power plant and provide China with clean energy. In the third phase of the plan, China is expected to invest $280 million to ensure that photovoltaic power plants are interconnected with the existing power grid. This will allow the generated energy to be efficiently transmitted to Beijing and other surrounding areas to meet the growing energy demand. Such efficient energy distribution will enable China to better cope with the energy pressures brought about by urbanization and industrialization. However, it is not enough to invest huge sums of money and build. China also spent an additional $170 million on equipment, maintenance, and technology. The funds will be used to purchase advanced photovoltaic equipment, train maintenance personnel, and introduce the latest technology to improve the efficiency and reliability of photovoltaic power plants.